Where am I going? A man stands in the middle of the street, watching the night's fog drift under a lamp. His phone glows in his hand, but delivers nothing. No message, no direction, just the hollow blue light. He's 2 years into a job he can't name one true reason for. Somewhere inside, the quiet question again. Seneca, in a letter to his friend Lucilius, once wrote, Seneca said, "Our plans miscarry because they have no aim. When a man does not know what harbor he is making for, no wind is the right wind." Letters 53:8. There's a particular ache in drifting. You show up day after day, following the nervous current of whatever's urgent. But what's it all for? Even ambition, without aim, loses its edge. It turns into noise, anxiety, empty hustle. The world will offer 100 winds, opinions, crises, temptations. If you have no harbor, any gust blows you off course, faster and further from anything that matters. Purpose isn't always a dramatic mission. It's the power to choose, to name what you want to become, not just what you want to avoid. This is the difference between movement and progress, between chasing the clock and building a life. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, faced mornings like anyone else. Marcus Aurelius said, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work, as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? The things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for, to huddle under the blankets and stay warm?" Meditations 5:1. The struggle isn't unique to emperors. Every morning, the same gravity holds us down. Fatigue, doubt, the heaviness of another day. But Marcus doesn't shame himself for it. He reframes work itself, simply showing up for your part in the world, however humble or difficult. Real masculinity, real adulthood, isn't bravado. It's answering the bell even when you'd rather stay buried. True strength is in facing your duty, not in never feeling resistance. For anyone at the edge of burnout, haunted by the sense that just getting up is already a defeat, it isn't. It's the first victory, wrestled from inertia. You win by rising, not by being unbreakable. To the Stoics, action isn't theater. You move, not to be seen, but because the work demands doing. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do what nature demands. Get a move on, if you have it in you, and don't look around to see whether anyone is watching. Don't await Plato's Republic. Be satisfied with even the smallest step forward, and consider the outcome of even this as no small thing." Meditations 9:29. The perfect conditions are a mirage, waiting for a flawless opportunity, for recognition, for the imaginary green light. It becomes an excuse not to act at all. Plato's Republic, Marcus jokes, doesn't exist. You aren't going to find a perfect world or a pure system before you're allowed to begin. A real man does the work that's in front of him, whether or not anyone notices, and even if it's small. A single honest step counts. The world changes in increments. A quiet conversation, a task completed in obscurity, the effort to get out of bed and do what needs doing. You don't have to remake yourself by tomorrow, but you do have to move. Even 1 inch toward a better life is not a small thing. Focus on what is said when you speak and on what results from each action. Know what the one aims at and what the other means. Meditations 7.4. Attention is underrated. Most of daily life blurs by, half heard and half intended. But with focus, even short conversations, even small decisions, take on weight. To have purpose is to ask yourself before you speak, what am I saying really? And when you act, what am I trying to create or repair or avoid? A real man pays attention, not only to his own words and choices, but to their consequences. Leadership isn't about dominating a room. It is measured in the consistency between intent and impact, in relationships, at work, and behind closed doors. Pause. Consider the results of what you do. That's the beginning of integrity. Seneca draws the line cleanly. Seneca said, "Philosophy is not a thing for show. It is not made for display. It is a matter not of words, but of action. Its function is not to while away the day in amusement or to remove the tedium of leisure. It shapes and fashions the soul. It orders life. It regulates action." Letters 16:3. There's a modern hunger for self-help slogans, the quick fix, the motivational Instagram post, the viral thread that promises to recalibrate your life in 5 easy steps. Real philosophy, real change, is not ornamental. It won't fit on a mug or a t-shirt. Purpose is work. It chisels at you. It forces you to choose, to revisit your habits, to carry through on convictions even when nobody else is watching. Through the shaping of your own days, the private disciplines, the choices nobody else will ever see, life comes into some kind of order. You become what you practice. A man's character isn't crafted by performance. It's quietly hammered out in those unshared hours. Seneca said, "Who can doubt that life is the gift of the immortal gods, but that living well is the gift of philosophy?" Letters 90. There's a sobering honesty here. Everyone gets a life. Not everyone learns to live well. We're surrounded by people with jobs, skills, families, backgrounds, but how many would say, hand on heart, that they're truly living well? Not collecting achievements, not constructing a public highlight reel, but living a life that is their own to the core. Philosophy, to the Stoics, wasn't a luxury. It was survival. The tool that made a real life possible, even when everything else, power, fortune, beauty, comfort, could be stripped away in an instant. Living well, with purpose, with calm, with integrity, is rare, and it begins with an honest reckoning. Seneca again, to his brother, cutting to the root of frustration. Seneca said, "All men, brother Gallio, wish to live happily, but are dull at perceiving exactly what it is that makes life happy. And so far is it from being easy to attain a happy life, that the more eagerly a man strives to reach it, the further he recedes from it, if he has made a mistake in the road." On The Happy Life, 1.1. There's a trap hidden in every half-hearted pursuit. The more you chase happiness as an image, the nice car, the flashy career, the approval of strangers, the more it seems to slip away. If the aim is wrong, even speed becomes your enemy. A real man slows down, recalibrates. He's not seduced by hustle culture that crowns exhaustion as virtue. He gets blunt about what truly matters and quietly abandons the rest. You can't get to the right place by sprinting in the wrong direction. Stop. Ask, what am I actually aiming for? Strip it back. Keep it honest. Purpose, not perfection, makes a man. In ancient Rome, Marcus Aurelius ruled but still questioned himself every sunrise. Seneca counseled emperors and friends through exile and uncertainty, knowing that any outer success meant nothing without an inner compass. Even Epictetus, a former slave, taught that dignity and freedom lived in the disciplined mind, not in the approval of others or even in the luck of fortunes. Their words are, at their root, an invitation, not to sell yourself a fantasy of flawlessness, but to keep moving forward, step by questioning step, to take responsibility for the life you're actually living, not the one you perform online. If you're lost, if you're angry with yourself for not being further along, remember, no one is coming with the map. You are allowed to start again and again at any hour. Purpose is not a thunderclap. It's the act of getting out of bed, picking your harbor, setting your sails however uncertain the wind. Perfection will break you. Purpose, lived honestly, will build you into something worthy. If this landed for you, you're not alone here. More stories and real talk waiting when you need them.